Very good afternoon to one and all. Myself, Mr. Mabudur Rahman from KK College of Food Technology, Nasik, Department of Food Engineering. Today, I will deliver a lecture on classification of dairy plant, advantages of good plant layout, and strength of material. So, the main objectives of this lecture are will cover classification of dairy plant according to their capacity, according to their size, as well as also cover advantage of good plant layout and strength of material, because we know that the strength of material that will be very useful for the construction of plant, so that these will cover in this lecture. So now start from classification of dairy plants. We know that the design and layout of the dairy plant depend much on the quantity of milk handled and the type of product made. Some may need refrigerated condition for the distribution of the product, while others may not need to such requirement. Some of the products may not need a daily delivery and need to be transported once a week or so. There is a wide variation in size and type of dairy plants. So, milk plant can be classified as two categories. One is our liquid milk plant and another is our product milk plant. So in liquid milk plant, this type of the plant should be located as close as possible to the consumer area, that is generally are in the outskirts of a large city or a town. It supply a market milk in chilled condition in a small retail packs. So we can say that our liquid milk plant, it is only for a small town. In product milk plant, here there is the production of products like cheese, butter, ice creams, various type of the peda, as well as other valuable product made from milk. So this is all about our product milk plant. Now come on classification on the basis of their capacity. Milk plant can be classified based on its capacity into three categories. One is our small capacity milk plant, second one is our medium capacity milk plants, third one is our large capacity milk plant. So in our small capacity milk plant, we can say that usually below 10,000 LPD and may needs to load milk in road tankers and send to larger dairies. It means what? 10,000 LPD and may need to load milk in road tanker and send to larger dairies. So what do you mean by LPD? LPD is our liter per day. A very limited local sales of liquid milk could be possible, as these are essential located in small towns. In medium types of the milk plant, their size ranges from 20,000 litre to 1 lakh litres of milk handled per day. Layout for products like market, milk, butter and ghee and cheese can be designed. Each room should be planned separately and arranged with forward flow of product as per requirement. Now next one is our larger capacity milk plant. In larger capacity milk plant, building may have few doors having multi-product manufacture where the reception is done at the ground floor and should have both milk treatment and tank storage on the first floor if products like milk powder are to be manufactured. As well as we can say that dairy plants are found all over the world, but because their size and the types of manufactured product vary tremendously, it is hard to give general characteristics. So, each division produces wastewater of characteristic composition. which depending on the kind of product that is produced. Now see the figure, a layout of dairy plant. It is a section of receiving of milk, and after receiving it comes to storage tank, then comes to clarification, and after that pasteurization, then comes to processing area, and after processing it comes to packaging, then after packaging it comes to storage and shipping through various modes. So it is a diagram, or we can say that a layout of dairy plant. In milk receiving, irrespective of the product varieties, totally 500 varieties of cheese produced throughout the world. These are classified in 9 major cheese families. These varieties come about as a result of different type of production process. The composition of wastewater of each specific production process varies from variety to variety. Next one is our butter, ghee. In developed countries, butter is made from cream that has been churned, separation of sweet butter and sweet buttermilk. In developing region, the technology in use for making of butter and ghee is closely related to the technology to make fermented milk. Traditional butter is made and from fully soured whole milk that is churned. Next one is milk powder. It is made from raw milk, skim milk or sweet buttermilk after pasteurization, decreaming, etc. The water from the milk is removed through evaporation. Next one is condensed cream khova. For the condensed milk and cream, a portion of water is removed by evaporation. Khova is product typically found in India and neighboring countries. It is produced by thermal evaporation of milk to 65 to 70% solid waste and serve as the base material for a variety of Indian sweets. So we can say that it is very important, and after that comes to solid state. Hardly any solid waste is produced by the industry. The main solid waste produced by the dairy industry is the sludge resulting from the wastewater purification. There are figures available about the amount of sludge production. In aerobic system, the sludge production is about 0.5 kilogram per kilogram of removed COD, and in an aerobic system about 0.1 kilogram per kilogram of removed COD. Next one is wastewater from dairy industry may originate from the following sources. First one is milk receiving. Wastewater result from tank, trunk and storage tank washing pipe, line washing and sanitizing. It tanks milk, solid detergent, sanitize and milk waste. Next one is whole milk product. Wastewater is mainly produced during cleaning operation, especially when different types of product are produced in a specific production unit. Cleanup operation between product changes are necessary. In developing countries, the main problem is pollution through spoilage of milk. Next one is cheese, whey, curd. Waste result mainly from the production of whey, wastewater, curd, particles, etc. Cottage cheese curd from it, for example, is more fragile than rennet curd, which is used for other types of cheese. Next one is butter, ghee. Butter washing stick produce wash water containing buttermilk. Skim milk and buttermilk can be used to produce a skim milk powder in the factory itself. Milk powder, environment problem are used caused by high energy consumption. So these are all about the classification of dairy plant. Now come on advantage of good plant layout. A good plant layout has following importance. It reduces the internal transport to a minimum. It minimizes accident. It makes repairs and maintenance. It yields higher cost, higher profit. It reduces labor turnover. It reduces production delays to a large extent. It keeps the shop neat and clean. It minimizes change in the layout to large extent every time. It keeps control over production. It eliminates waste efforts and the speed of production increases. Backtracking is reduced, less capital is spent on machinery. It reduces setup and total operation time. It reduces wastage and spoiled work. As well as time and motion study can be easily and accurately performed. Better utilization, manpower, and the last advantage is improvement in method of production can be made. So these are all about the advantage of good plant layout. Next one is strength of material. We know that strength of material, it is very important for the construction of various type of the equipments. According to their specification, according to their properties, engineering materials or strength of material are classified on various categories. According to their characteristics, each and every metals are used for their various purpose. So, metals are usually categorized on the basis of their chemical and physical properties. Metals are the class of material linked on atomic scale by metallic bond, begin an array of positive metallic ions perform long-range crystal lattices. So, we will see one by one. First one is our copper. Copper, the best known application, we can say that with the help of that we make various type of the breweries and distillery equipments. Copper is largely applied in the non-product contact area with the main application of the tubes in evaporator installed in refrigerator and freezer, electrical wiring, water pipe, etc. Another is our aluminium. Aluminium, it is for good contact purpose, as well as we can say that with the help of this silicates, however, prevent alkaline attack of aluminium. The use of uncoated aluminium utensils should be limited even if the exposure to aluminium is usually not harmful. When coated, this coating must be resistant to alkaline detergent, chlorine containing bleach, and acid and salty food. Anodizing, it is an electrolytic passive process used to increase the thickness of the natural oxide layer on the surface of the aluminium. Aluminium anodized coating are resistant to many inorganic chemicals in range between pH 4 and 8.5 but are subjected to pitting in aerated chloride solution. An optimum resistance to corrosion is obtained if the coating is in the thickness range of 18 to 30 micrometer. The corrosion resistance of an anodized coating can be further enhanced by sealing the pores of coating and incorporating inhibitors. Next one is our titanium. It has been suggested to be used for corrosive or delicate liquids such as dairy products as well as juices, as well as we can say that for binary industry. It is practically inert due to phenomena of passivation of the titanium surface by the formation of a molecular layer of titanium oxide. Titanium is resistant to corrosive and impingement and pitting attack in salt water. Next one is our cast iron. Cast iron, it is a alloy of iron, silicon and carbon. Typically, the concentration of carbon in cast iron is between 3 to 4% by weight. The corrosion resistance of cast iron is comparable to that of carbon steel and sometimes even better. However, cast iron will quickly corrode and on exposure to moisture and atmospheric air. To prohibit corrosion or to reduce the corrosion rate, cast iron is often painted or even galvanized, but even a thick coating of paint or zinc will not fully prohibit corrosion due to cracks and holes within the coating. Its corrosion resistance to neutral and alkaline liquid high pH is very good, but it has poor resistance to acid low pH and salt water. However, cast iron can be alloyed with 13 to 16% by weight. silicon are 15 to 13% by weight nickel to improve its corrosion resistance due to its sensitivity to corrosion and surface roughness. Cast iron cannot be used in the food contact area of food processing equipment. Its use is limited to pump casing, steam piping, equipment frame, etc., which is away from the good contact area. Next one is our mild steel. It is also called as carbon steel. It is made from iron and carbon. Without addition of other alloying element, it is also sensitive to acids, salt water and chlorine containing bleach, but fairly good resistant to neutral and alkaline liquid high pH due to its corrosion sensitivity. It cannot be used in the food contact area, but it is often used in the construction of walls for non-food applications. Next one is our nickel. Nickel, it is we can say that intake via food step does not cause hazards for the majority of construction consumers, but subgroups of the population have contact allergy to nickel. With regards to the corrosion resistance of these nickel alloy, the following inventory can be made. Hastole B, Monel, Incology, Hastole C. In alloys, nickel is strongly and microstructurally bond because the alloying element react with and dissolve into each other to form a material with new crystalline structure. Strong atomic and chemical binding forces between the constituting alloying element reduce their migration out alloys. Next one is silver. Silver is used in the production of cutlery and tableware. Chemically, silver is the most reactive of the noble metal but not oxidized readily. Last one is lead. Lead absorption may constitute a serious risk to public health. The effects of lead poisoning, which can affect nearly every bodily system, are cumulative throughout our lifetime. Instead of this, other materials also used, like for example glass. Glass is transparent and may occasionally be used as a food contact surface. Example light and side glasses into vessel and in a very limited extent glass piping. For such application, glass should be non-toxic. Glass containing lead are not allowed in the food contact area. So glass shall be rated for the applicable pressure and temperature range as well as the thermal shock. So in this way we can say that other material also be used for our making various type of the equipments. Okay, thank you for attention. So please go on this link which is beneficial for you. I am given a multiple questions whatever I covered in this lecture. Okay, thank you.